Welcome to this lesson. Your Bitcoin transaction has to be verified and confirmed, and after this it is combined with some other transactions to make a new data block and eventually a blockchain. All new blocks are added to the end of the blockchain. At this stage the transaction is final and immutable. It usually takes between 10 minutes and 45 minutes to process a Bitcoin transaction. A Bitcoin transaction never happens immediately. There can be no changes to the transaction once it is finalized. The receiver of your Bitcoin transaction then sees this in their wallet. Bitcoin miners are essential. We have mentioned Bitcoin miners a couple of times in this guide, and actually these people are very important. Why? Well, they are the keepers of the Bitcoin ledgers. If you think of a gold miner working tirelessly to find gold, Bitcoin miners are doing the same thing, trying to find scarce Bitcoins. The Bitcoin miners verify and confirm all Bitcoin transactions. They really are the lifeblood of the Bitcoin system. Without them the whole thing would not work. There would be no new blocks created for the blockchain. This is why they are rewarded occasionally with valuable Bitcoins. If blocks are not added to the blockchain, then no Bitcoin transactions will be finalized. This means that not only will Bitcoin payments fail to be sent and received, but there will be no new Bitcoins created. Bitcoin miners know that there are only a limited amount of Bitcoins available, and as time passes they will all be competing for a dwindling number. They just leave their Bitcoin mining computers running 24 hours a day to keep verifying and confirming transactions and trying to earn those elusive Bitcoins. No trust required. The design of Bitcoin and the underlying blockchain technology is such that no trust is required. It uses heavy encryption techniques to keep everything safe, hence the name cryptocurrency. There is no need for human trust in the Bitcoin network because it operates on tried and tested computer algorithms. It is virtually impossible to cheat the Bitcoin network because it is a public environment. It would take a ton of computing power to break down all of the encryption even if that were possible. So it makes more sense to use this kind of power to mine the Bitcoin network instead. Your identity is protected on the Bitcoin network. All of your Bitcoin transactions are verified using a private and public key. You use your private key as your digital signature in your Bitcoin transactions, and network users can verify this by using your public key. Both of these keys are encrypted, so you can only use the public key if the correct private key is used. Public and private keys are very important for you to understand as a cryptocurrency investor. A public key is tied to a public address where you can deposit cryptocurrencies. You can use your public address to broadcast so that you can receive payments from other peers. Your private key is not for sharing with anyone, as it is essentially the password to protect your funds. This private key links to your public key for added security. Your private key is how your balance is determined through the Bitcoin network. The public and private key system has two major advantages. 1. It is virtually impossible for cybercriminals to steal your identity and make fraudulent transactions. 2. You can be completely anonymous on the Bitcoin network if that is useful for you. So now you know how Bitcoin really works. In the next slide, we will look at the various ways that you can acquire Bitcoins. How you can acquire Bitcoins. With the growing popularity of Bitcoin came a number of different methods for acquiring them. In this section we will explain some of the most common methods for acquiring Bitcoins to bolster your investments. Purchase Bitcoins. This is obviously the most simple and straightforward way to acquire Bitcoins. All you need to do is to use an exchange website such as Coinbase.com, and in most cases you will be able to buy Bitcoins using your native currency. Some cryptocurrency exchanges have country restrictions, so you need to do your homework here to ensure that you can purchase in your country. There are some countries that have actually banned the buying and selling of Bitcoin, so if this applies to you then you will need to find a creative way around this, which is beyond the scope of this guide. At the time this video was made, a single Bitcoin is worth $21,385.50, so to make Bitcoin investment available to almost exchanges will sell fractions. In fact, a Bitcoin can be divided into 100 million units. Each of these units is called a Satoshi, after the founder of Bitcoin. We will give you our view on using cryptocurrency exchanges in the next video when we explain what you need to get started with Bitcoin investment. For now, here is our view of the best cryptocurrency exchanges for Bitcoin. Coinbase is probably the best known cryptocurrency exchange. If you have used a stock trading platform before, then the interface of Coinbase will make sense to you. You can fund your Coinbase account using bank transfers from the US or with credit cards. Basically, you can exchange either US dollars or cryptocurrency that you have for Bitcoin. This concludes the video lesson. Thank you for watching.